What part of the active conflict makes you think things will stop? Has Joe Biden come out and said, I want to be a good president to everyone in this country, and knowing that there are 80 million Americans who are skeptical and hesitant to vaccines, I want to have a conversation with you and work with you. That's why I'm going to be announcing, a new plan to work with Republican leaders and have discussions over protecting civil liberties. No, he doesn't do that. He says, what did he say? We've been patient, but our patience is wearing thin.
Like, who's he talking about?
It's right. I mentioned this before. When he came out, when Texas and Florida announced that they were they're like, we're not going to do these shutdowns. We're not going to have these mandates. He came out and said, we may need more restrictions. We may need more mask mandates. And that was an important point earlier this year. I said, who was he talking to? He wasn't talking to Texas. He wasn't talking to South Dakota. South Dakota never shut down. He wasn't talking to Florida. No, he was talking only to blue states. Joe Biden is the president who comes out on TV and says, us and we against you.
He just pulled off the biggest, in my opinion, military blunder in American history. He surrendered to the Taliban after a 20-year war that we had control. We were in control and
that helped China, I think, more than anybody else.
It devastated not only the way we look in the world. Who would trust us to ally with us if we're going to walk away and leave them to die afterwards?
If we're looking at who benefits the most from everything that Biden's doing, I have to say probably China's benefiting the most.
So he's saving face. This is him coming out hard, out of the closet, to be angry, to take the... Immediately, I'm like, what is he talking about? Anything other than Afghanistan for right now? He wants to focus on how cool how strong he is. This is total power play.
Another thing is...
I agree. This policy doesn't fly. It's going to get sued into oblivion. He'll probably try and bypass Supreme Court anyway, but boy, did it change the conversation with Afghanistan.
We're talking about this instead of Afghanistan now, yeah. Another thing is, like, I wonder, because I know you were saying that they kind of want the states to split in a way where, like, Florida is its own state. I wonder how that's going to go, because I know in New York City, I'll just use this as a smaller scale example, my hometown, Staten Island, it's technically part of New York City. It pays New York City taxes, pays New York state taxes, but everyone in Staten Island, for the most part, it's the only Republican borough out of the entirety of New York City. It's not anything like anything else in New York City geographically and the people. But they refuse to let Staten Island secede from New York City. They just refuse. I believe it's because they don't want a part of New York that's not adherent to the New York City tax code and just have everybody from New York City just living over there in Staten Island. Because what would happen is tons of businesses will just, we're just going to go right over the bridge. We're gonna just move right over the bridge, and Manhattan would just lose tons of business.
New York City tax, I think, is like 3.5% or something?
3.5%. And there's no reason for Staten Island to be paying that, because we're nothing like the rest of the city. It's just a completely different world. It might as well just be New Jersey at that point.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's going to be the same exact thing when it comes to Florida and Texas. If they want to secede, if Florida and Texas ever did get out of there, they're either going to have to, one, try to destroy the economy of those states as much as possible, so this way no one would ever want to live there, or they would have to force them to stay because they don't want it to become a beacon of freedom where 0% taxes, every business, just come here. You got no federal government breathing down your neck. You want to have your $1 trillion business here? You want to have your small business here? Yeah, just come here. No one's going to bother you. Just come here and do whatever you want.
And check it out right now. There's a lot going on with these vaccine mandates. Truckers. If the truckers of the United States right now said, I'm good, strike, whole country shuts down. Everything shuts down. They have all the power. People don't realize when you zoom out on America, you look at America on the satellite map. You look at it in real time. I'm not saying you actually have access to do that, but let's say you could. You know what you see on the roads? Cool. You know what you see on all the highways? They look like veins. And you know what those trucks are? Those are the red blood cells carrying the oxygen to all of the major centers to make sure that people can survive.
How does it work with Amazon? Do they own their own truck drivers?
Oh, dude, when you order, so in rural areas, when you order from Amazon, it comes, it gets delivered to a post office, and then it either when we order on Amazon, we get UPS, FedEx, and postal deliveries for Amazon stuff. When in the cities, there's an Amazon warehouse, and they hire their own drivers, and the person will show up, put it in their car, drive it to you. Not here. We get that sometimes. But typically, it has to be delivered through
it's still got to go from the production center and the warehouse to these distribution centers either way. So it's got to come from a big truck. Then their little drivers can handle it locally.
Well, here's the important point. Let's say you live in Texas. No vaccine mandates. They're like, we got a shipment. It's going out to New York. Can't do it.
Yeah.
Because if I go there, I'm not going to be able to eat any food or go to restaurants. I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be able to go into the gas station. Sorry. Actually, not even going to be able to go into the warehouse to drop it off. Now, there may be some exceptions, like, oh, you're just dropping something off, fine. You're getting takeout. New York says it's fine. There's probably reasons why they did this. But how many of these truck drivers are going to be like, not worth the risk. I'm not going to drive all that way for this job and then find out that I can't even interact. The other way is different. New York will be able to go to Texas. Vaccinated New York truck drivers will have no problem going to Texas. So it's all going to start flowing towards these red states.
The thing is, these cities are the ones that really need these imported supplies and goods, too.
I think, I don't know exactly how this plays out. I've said for a long time civil war, and we were just talking about that. But I do think, based on that YouGov data, it's 37.2% of people want their region to break apart from the United States. Or, I'm sorry, each different region has a different population size. But overall in the United States, there's a 37.2% of people want their region to break apart. I look at that and I'm like, maybe it's just balkanization. Maybe that's not even the right word for it, because, you talk about like the Balkan Wars and stuff and, the balkanization that happened. Maybe what we're going to see is a little bit different, and it's more going to be just a dissolution of the union.
Yeah, decentralization of the union.
The states become the states and take care of their own business, and that's it.
I think we've been in, maybe not a civil war, but with, first of all, the Federal Reserve, really, those guys really wanted to take control of the American economy, which they kind of did. Then the Soviets, we had the communist American conflict, civil war. Then we had the Chinese, which we still have. So it's like we've been in this conflict for 100 years, and it's evolved and morphed into a different shape, where it's like me and you, we all have these different opinions now. Your neighbors aren't the people that you relate to the most. And so there's all this psychological conflict that's being sown. And I hate seeing Americans versus Americans on this. I don't think that's what it is. We got divided over the last 15 years, really, really sadly, unnecessarily. It's more than just an American problem. It's a global problem. And I think we really need to be unified in order to defend it.
We're inching closer and closer to what's happening in Australia. That's where we're headed. Yeah.
I'm sorry, Ian. I gotta disagree with you. You constantly, want to, you hold this belief of like we shouldn't be divided. People should come together. But I think you missed the boat on that one a long time ago.
I can't stop though. I can't stop myself.
I get it, but look,
we're too different.
These are the things I was talking about in 2016.
Yeah, I was in 2007. I was.
Hey guys, we shouldn't be hyperpolarizing like this. We can't just be pointing the fingers. 2018, I'm like, yo, this fighting's got to stop. People, I actually said people should stop showing up to these things, to just simmer down. I understand people want to go out and protest. They have a right to do it. But all it's going to do is create a tit for tat. So why don't people just chill out right now? Now we're at the point, there is no turning back. You got people like Hassan Piker, one of the biggest, if not the biggest independent political commentator, cheering for nationwide rule by decree, cheering for it, mocking those as you have someone, Biden in office, violating, overtly violating the Constitution, the law, overruling legislation, the Supreme Court on multiple occasions, and he's cheering for it, while at the same time, you have some of these same people saying the abortion law in Texas is wrong, the government, my body, my choice. Oh, but this is contagious, we shouldn't allow it. We shouldn't allow the virus to kill people. But we should be allowed to abort babies. There's no logical consistency other than give me the power to enact the things I want. There is no reconciling that, Ian. When these people, by 54%, believe the economy is doing good right now, I'm sorry, man. They come out and they claim that every Trump supporter is ingesting horse paste, which is just not true. It's a small.
They did the same thing with the Trump and the bleach situation.
Yeah. Right. First of all, Trump said something dumb, and they act like people actually believe that stuff. But I'll tell you this: the reality, independent voters and Republican voters are not running around ingesting horse paste. It's just not happening. Some people are, and it's a stupid thing to do.
The irony is the guy that they're making fun of, Joe Rogan, ended up getting better in 3 days.
But he went to a doctor, and a doctor gave him a prescription. He got monoclonal antibodies, which is an FDA authorized treatment, and that's probably what did it. Yeah. But here's the point. We can say definitively, we know there are dumb people going to Tractor Supply. You go to Tractor Supply, there's horse paste missing because people bought it. But they only had 30 boxes anyway. So there's not tens of millions of crackpots. You look at the Republicans right now. The Republicans in the polls, a large portion do not like the Republican Party because they're paying attention. Independent voters think the economy is bad, don't like the Republicans or the Democrats. The metric, Democrats believing the economy is good, is proof these people live in Wally world.
Evidence. It's not proof. But there's only 3,000 people, though, that I think that study. It was only like 3,000.
study?
That showed the Democrats thought the economy was good.
No, it's like 100,000.
Is it? I thought that was a different study. Okay.
No, it's like 100.
maybe
Still only.
Maybe they think it's good because they're getting their checks in the mail.
Right.
No, it's because
They
Joe
don't have
Biden
to
got
work.
elected, and all of a sudden there's a spike in people believing the economy
Yeah,
was
you're
good.
going to get 100,000 morons in any political
here's
party.
the other
pretty
thing,
much.
I guess, when it comes to the UBI and all these checks that everyone's been getting. I guess Andrew Yang and the whole, UBI socialist crowd are saying, we need this money, it will be productive, it'll go to good, it'll help us do this, help us do that. And what happens when a lot of these people get their money? Louis Vuitton stock skyrockets, because they're going to buying Gucci bags, Louis purses, whatever they're doing. I live in Vegas now, and I've been flying back and forth, and what I noticed is probably 75% of the flights have been extremely ghetto, extremely rowdy, no flight etiquette. I'm getting.
Have you seen these videos? People fighting and boxing on planes.
They're coming on the planes and they got boom boxes and they're blasting
like
music.
a bus.
They're cursing at the flight attendants. They're yelling at the pilots. Oh, we're gonna have a 10-minute delay landing. A little bit busy today. You're lying to us. You're effing lying to us. Get us off. Freaking out. And this is like 75% of the flights I've been going on lately, in and out of Vegas, have been like that. Also, I talked to a lot of people on the Strip, a lot of security. They said at the time when I was talking to them, they said crime has been going up on the Strip. And I asked why. I came to the conclusion, I think this might be true, that because the airlines and the casinos, they're all giving these deals to get people back into the city, and people are all having these checks come in the mail that never earned it, and they just want to go blow it, and they're getting less desirable people coming into town, starting problems, starting crime. When I was in the casino not too long ago, I think 3 people try to start a fight with me. One person tried to start a fight with me because they asked if I liked Alex Jones, and they tried to start a fight with me over that.
They asked you?
Yeah, they asked me because I was having a political conversation with my friend's mom, and they turned around, they're like, "You like Alex Jones?" I'm like, I think he's cool. He's definitely entertaining. Well, you're and he just called me, one of these words that I can't say. No, not. He definitely called me.
Oh, he called
that.
you a slur.
Yeah, the R one.
The things that YouTube bans us for.
Yeah, and I was like, dude, just go away from me. And then literally, I go to another table, and someone yells Joe, because the guy next to me, his name was Joe. He wasn't with me, and I glanced back, and I looked back. He's like, and I wasn't effing talking to you. And he starts to try to size me up. I'm like, bro, get out of here. What are you doing?
Thanks for checking out this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. If you want to see the full show, come back to this channel, youtube.com/TimcastIRL, Monday through Friday at 8 p.m., where you can leave comments and super chat, and we actually will read your comments on the show. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and if you want exclusive members-only content, segments you can't get anywhere else, go to timcast.com, become a member, and we even have full bonus episodes. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all next time.